Did you just finish a recording and you notice that your volume levels are low in your mix? Are you having trouble also with warmth and clarity of your vocals? Are you just new and you want to learn more about recording in general and you want to be able to record just as I do with a home recording? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about gain staging, not just gain staging, but the effectiveness of having a great preamp. Hi, my name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. And I know today you may be frustrated. You may have just recorded your voice and realize, or just recorded somebody else's voice, realize that you don't have enough energy. It doesn't seem like enough energy in your mix. Maybe it's fighting with the rest of the tracks. In my years of recording, I've had vocalists to come in with different dynamic voice ranges. And if you're just recording your mic with no preamp, you're going to have a hard time controlling that vocal. Now, think of a preamp as sort of like your mic on steroids. This preamp is going to allow for your volumes to be just a little bit more punchier and a little bit more higher in your mix. You want your mixes to stand out, but you want your vocals to stand out, and because the vocal is the most important part of your track. Now, with mixes in general, they're made up of your tracks, of course. And if you're into pop music or electronic music, you'll notice that a lot of the MIDI instruments are a little bit more punchier than, anyone might expect. The reason for this is they actually have preamps that are baked into the individual tracks. And what you don't want to do is have your vocals competing with those tracks. So with the preamp, it's very important that you have, it's very vital. I would say any preamp that you want to get, it's probably going to be between $200 to $500, but you make sure that you get the right one so that your volume or your vocals are loud enough in the mix. Now, why do you need a preamp? I think I already answered that question. The preamp allows for the volume or the impedance to be a little bit louder. It helps any type of dynamic mic, because generally dynamic mics are lower in volume when you record, and you want to be able to compete with what is on the radio today or what's playing on the internet. With your vocals, you want to make sure that your vocals, once again, are sticking out, that they're out in front of the mix, that they're not competing with the other tracks, because it's already hard enough to mix without a preamp. I personally use, and I'm going to tell you my setup now, what I use is the SSL6. This is a preamp slash mixer. The SSL6 was the famous board that was used in the 80s and 90s of all of these famous and super famous recordings. It pretty much mimics the preamp of the SSL board of the 80s. So I have that preamp that I use. Basically what I do is I take my mic and go from my mic to my preamp, and then my preamp goes into my Apogee Element 88. Hey again, everybody. Thank you again for joining this video and locking in. I hope that you learned something today on preamps, and I've got some bonus information that I wanted to share with you really quickly. Now, if you look back there, I've got my interface that I use, but I also use a preamp outside of the interface. Now, the Apogee gives me a preamp inside, but I use another interface that I hook to my preamp just to maximize my vocal quality and the volumes and just really stick out for all of my recordings. So I hope that helps you, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Give me some feedback. Let me know how your recordings are going, and I'll talk to you soon.